Hi, my name is Shazib Khan and you are watching the YouTube channel of Pakistan's People-Led Disaster Management. Today is February 1st, 2021, marking 1 year since Pakistan declared a state of national emergency in 2020 over the desert locust outbreak. Since then, we have managed to overcome the crisis, eradicating all locust swarms within the nation. It is an astounding success story by the various government agencies who coordinated to fight the locusts after the emergency declaration, such as the Ministry of National Food Security and Research, as well as by international agencies like the United Nations Food and Agriculture Organization. However, we are not out of the woods yet. This locust upsurge in Eastern Africa and Western Asia began in 2018 with two massive cyclones that struck the Arabian Peninsula, dropping rain down on a desert area known as the Empty Quarter, causing extensive locust breeding there. This led to the formation of huge swarms of locusts which spread to neighboring regions of East Africa and Western Asia. These swarms reached Pakistan in the middle of 2019 and proceeded to cause massive damage to agricultural crops and to rangeland vegetation. Then, in late 2019, massive rainfall and flooding in Eastern Africa caused an explosion in the number of desert locusts, resulting in the entire upsurge intensifying dramatically. So, by the beginning of February 2020, the situation within Pakistan was so dire that we declared the national emergency. Over the following months, dozens of countries from Tanzania to India fought a full-scale battle against the desert locusts while the coronavirus pandemic was raging. The pandemic made this endeavor so very much harder because it was very difficult for workers and supplies to get to where they were needed. The summer of 2020 was when the crisis was in its most critical stage because everyone predicted that the coming of heavy rainfall to Western Asia would cause the locust outbreak to explode even further. It is in these dire circumstances that Pakistan proceeded to make extraordinary breakthroughs against the locust invasion starting in August. We employed helicopters from the military, drones, ground vehicles, and thousands of workers to spray pesticides in areas where locusts were breeding and where locusts were swarming. We monitored all of Pakistan's territory to find out where the locusts were, and we took timely action to eradicate them and spray them with the pesticides. And we had a lot of help from outside, such as from countries like China and from the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations. The result was that by early October, the government of Pakistan announced that all locust swarms were eradicated from Pakistan. Only limited breeding of locusts persisted in some areas, such as desert belts in Sindh and Punjab. Meanwhile, the locust invasions were also brought under some control in the other countries, such as Kenya and Iran. So the entire upsurge in Africa and Asia declined, and in the past few months, food crisis has been averted. However, locusts continued running rampant in countries ravaged by war like Yemen, Somalia and Ethiopia, and in late 2020 heavy rainfall returned again to East Africa. Most notably, Cyclone Gati struck Somalia in late November, the first hurricane-strength cyclone to ever make landfall in that nation, and it brought 2 years' worth of rainfall in 2 days to northern Somalia, where people expected locusts would not breed because of how arid that place normally is. This cyclone spurred a new locust outbreak in the Horn of Africa, and now in early 2021 it is expected that a second wave of locusts is going to hit East Africa. If that happens, these locusts will likely once again make their way to Asia and come and cross Pakistan's borders to wreak havoc on our crops once again and start pushing Pakistan towards a severe food crisis. And at the same time, if there are any locusts breeding within Pakistan, they could also expand into a full-scale outbreak. So we have to take this into account. We need to prepare for this eventuality. Pakistan needs to closely monitor the locust situation all across the region where the desert locusts are, and it needs to use the months it has to prepare for a second invasion of locusts. It must embark on cooperation with other nations, enlisting their help in fighting the locusts, and must raise awareness of the issue in the international media. Among all the other things that are happening in the world, the international community is ignoring the locust outbreak and the fact that it's posing a severe threat to the food security of as much as 1/10 of the world's population. We need to change that. And we need to realize that Pakistan faces an uphill battle on many fronts in 2021. We will have the coronavirus pandemic, which is getting worse dramatically, along with the predicted locust invasion, and there's also likely to be incidents of severe weather like cyclones and monsoon flooding. All of this we'll have to tackle together, so we need to formulate a comprehensive national strategy to weather the challenges that 2020 will bring to us.